Did you know that for more than 99% of human history, nobody had a job, no offices, no alarm clocks, no emails, no Monday mornings, and yet somehow, humans survived, spread across the planet, and eventually built every civilization you've ever heard of? So, what did they actually do all day? Did they just hunt mammoths 24/7? Sit around caves? Or were our ancestors living a lifestyle that was completely different from what we've been taught? The answer is way more surprising than you think. Let's go back roughly 30,000 years. Imagine you wake up. There's no bed, no phone, no coffee, no calendar reminding you about work. Instead, the first thing you notice is the temperature. Is it cold? Did it rain overnight? Are there animal tracks nearby? Your entire day depends on what nature decides. And honestly, that sounds stressful. But here's the crazy part. Ancient humans probably worked fewer hours than many people today. Yeah, that sounds completely backwards. Researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer societies, our closest lifestyle comparison, have found that many spend only a few hours each day gathering food. The rest? Talking, making tools, playing, teaching children, resting, socializing. Not exactly the non-stop survival movie Hollywood likes to show. Movies make it look like every morning started with chasing giant animals. Reality? Big hunts were risky. Really risky. One broken leg, one bad spear throw, and your entire group could lose a valuable member. Instead, ancient humans relied on variety. Women, men, and children often gathered berries, roots, nuts, seeds, eggs, honey, shellfish, whatever nature offered. These foods were surprisingly reliable. Large animals were more like bonus meals. Think of hunting like winning free barbecue for the neighborhood. Nice when it happened, but definitely not guaranteed. There were no grocery stores, no refrigerators, no Uber Eats. Finding food meant knowing hundreds of plants. Which berries were safe? Which mushrooms could kill you? Where do fish gather after rain? Where do deer usually cross rivers? This knowledge wasn't written in books. It lived inside people's memories. A teenager back then probably knew more about local plants than most of us know about apps on our phones. That's honestly kind of wild. There wasn't a school bell, no homework, no exams. Children learned by watching adults. They copied everything. How to make a spear, how to start a fire, how to identify dangerous animals, how to track footprints. Learning wasn't separated from life. Life was the classroom. If someone made a mistake, the lesson could be immediate, very immediate. Now here's where life gets interesting. Fire wasn't just for warmth. It completely transformed human life. Cooking made food easier to digest. People got more calories. Brains had more energy. Night suddenly became useful. Instead of going to sleep immediately after sunset, families gathered around fires. They talked, laughed, shared stories, passed on traditions. Some scientists even think storytelling around campfires helped shape human language itself. In a way, Netflix started with fire. Modern life celebrates independence. Ancient life did the opposite. Everything depended on cooperation. If someone found honey, everyone benefited. If someone was injured, others helped. If one hunter succeeded, the whole group ate. Being selfish wasn't just unpopular. It could be deadly. Groups that shared resources survived longer. Groups that didn't often disappeared. Humans became successful because we worked together better than almost any other species. Not because we were the strongest. Believe it or not, ancient humans cared about appearance. Archaeologists have found beads, animal teeth necklaces, shell jewelry, pigments for body paint, and carefully decorated clothing. Looking good wasn't a modern invention. Decoration probably signaled identity, status, friendship, or even romance. Thousands of years before social media, people were already expressing themselves. Some things never change. Today, many Americans struggle to hit 10,000 steps. Ancient humans, some probably doubled or even tripled that. Walking wasn't exercise. It was transportation, shopping, travel, exploration, life. Their bodies adapted to constant movement. Ironically, many of us now pay money for gym memberships just to imitate what used to happen naturally. Yeah, that's kind of funny when you think about it. No streetlights, no smartphones, no late-night scrolling. People often slept according to natural light. Some researchers believe humans sometimes woke briefly in the middle of the night before falling asleep again. Their schedules followed seasons. Winter looked different from summer. Nature, not a clock, controlled daily life. Imagine never hearing an alarm again. Sounds amazing. Until you remember wolves existed. Here's something most people don't expect. Ancient humans actually had leisure. Games, music, dancing, art. Flutes carved from bird bones date back tens of thousands of years. Cave paintings weren't survival tools. Someone spent precious time creating them, which means people valued creativity long before cities existed. Humans didn't invent art after survival. Art was part of survival. It connected communities, created memories, strengthened culture. About 12,000 years ago, everything flipped. People began farming. At first, it sounded like a great idea. Grow your own food, stay in one place, build villages. Simple, right? Not exactly. Farmers often worked much longer hours. They dealt with crop failures. Diseases spread faster. People became dependent on harvests. For many, life actually became harder. History isn't always a straight path toward improvement. Sometimes, progress comes with trade-offs. Imagine explaining modern life to someone from 30,000 years ago. You wake up to an alarm, drive through traffic, sit indoors for 8 hours, buy food wrapped in plastic, exercise by running, on a machine that goes nowhere, spend hours looking at glowing rectangles. They'd probably think we were the weird ones. And honestly, maybe they'd have a point. But here's the real question. Were they actually happier? That's impossible to answer. Ancient life was dangerous. Injuries, predators, disease, harsh weather. Child mortality was incredibly high. But they also had close communities, constant movement, time outdoors, strong social connections. Things many psychologists today say are important for well-being. Life wasn't easier. It was simply different. The biggest myth about ancient humans is that they spent every second desperately trying to survive. The evidence tells a much richer story. They explored, created art, raised families, told stories, solved problems, worked together, and built the foundation for everything that came after. Without them, there would be no cities, no technology, no history, and definitely no YouTube. So the next time you're stuck in traffic on your way to work, remember this. For most of human history, nobody had a job, just a community, a campfire, and another sunrise to figure out together. Comment below, would you rather spend 1 week living with ancient hunter-gatherers or keep your modern 9-to-5 life? If you enjoyed this journey into the past, leave a like and subscribe for more fascinating stories about history, ancient civilizations, and the incredible people who came before us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.